Okay, so now the next point is the big data examples. So biggest example is the Netflix, or we can say that the Hood app. So that is nothing but, so these apps are having the millions of information, millions of files, millions of movies with them, but those are limited one. So it is for the business purpose. So therefore, big data is basically used in case of businesses. Okay, वहां पे basically क्या होता है कि if you it is just on the basis of recording. Okay, on the basis of recording. Sorry, what we can say. On the basis of your searching, it is showing you the recommendations. So that is one of the example of big data. Okay, because if you had visited that particular Netflix, you have searched for something. Okay, so whenever next time you are searching, whenever next time you are going, then at that time it is just showing you the recommendation for you. Okay, then apart from that, if you had missed a particular clip, or if you had watched a particular clip only half, then it is starting from the next half. Okay, so that is nothing but the big data example. Okay, so it means that it is trying to personalize the things. Okay, it is trying to personalize the things, and all as per the requirement, as per the recommendations, it is just giving you the informations. Okay, so big data examples. Nowadays, basically, as we are knowing that internet uses, IoT uses, and various data storing informations is in use day by day. So if you had checked the particular data, so huge amount of information is available. So if you are considering every day approximate 2.5 quintillion bytes of information is added to the internet. Okay, so that amount of information is entered. So that amount of, so apart from that, you have to find out your users, and you have to keep track of the record of users. So that is nothing but big data. So the vast amount of information is added to the internet, vast amount of information, the complex information is added to the systems. But in spite of that, in spite of that using net in spite of that, you have to personalize the particular users and provide some of the privileges. Okay, so that is nothing but the example of big data. Big data is basically, it is a collection of data that is so huge and complex. Big data is nothing but it is a collection of data which is so huge. Okay, which is so huge and complex that none of the traditional data management tool are able to store or process. Okay, so data management के जितने भी tools है, आपका Oracle है, SAP है, या फिर जितने भी छोटे छोटे जितने भी traditional tools है, so those tools cannot able to handle this amount of information, because this is a huge and complex amount of complex information. Okay, so we have to consider this, we have to take accountability of this. So that is done by the big data itself. Okay, so example, basically Netflix, as I have already explained to you. So now we will see the data explosion. Okay, so data explosion in case of big data. So basically, whenever, so this diagram itself is self-explanatory. Okay, for we have to keep in mind whenever we are dealing with big data. Okay, बिग डेटा जब भी हम लोग देख रहे हैं, तो वो टाइम पे चार वीज को हमको देखना है. फर्स्ट वन इज वॉल्यूम, अनदर इज वेलोसिटी, द नेक्स्ट वन इज वेरासिटी, एंड द नेक्स्ट वन इज वैरायटी. Okay, so volume, basically, so these are nothing but the four characteristics upon which we are deciding how much time, or we are deciding how much complex the particular data is, and how much what we can say, how much data we have to process at. Okay, so volume, it is by default. The data could be in the form of either MB हो सकता है, GB हो सकता है, TB हो सकता है, PP हो सकता है, इससे भी आगे हो सकता है, but just for the simplicity we are considering this. So this is nothing but the volume of data. So what amount of information we have to process, so that we are just considering here. Okay, then apart from that, here if you are considering the velocity, bit, bytes, then apart from that batches and stream, ये थोड़ा सा blurred है. I will share you this image afterwards. ये notes का मैं आपको image share करता हूँ lecture के बाद. Okay, so bits, bytes, streams, patches and streams. Okay, so these are nothing but the velocity, how many bits per second it has the capability to process. Okay, bits per second, bytes per second, batches per seconds and stream per second. Stream, it means that the continuous amount of information, जैसा वीडियो है तो वीडियो प्रोसेस करते हैं बिट और बाइट में नहीं है, पूरा मतलब स्ट्रीम कंटिन्यूअसली एक साथ चलता जाएगा, एक साथ आपको प्रोसेस करना पड़ेगा. So first one we had seen, that is nothing but the volume. The next one we had seen is nothing but the velocity. Here we are going to consider the speed. Okay, volume, size of data यहाँ पे हुआ. Then veracity, veracity is nothing but it is clear, whether the data is clear or not. The next one is consistent or not. Okay, एक तो मतलब डेटा आपका क्लियर है या नहीं, ये थर्ड वन. Okay, veracity, clear, then apart from that consistent, then correct or not, and confirmed or not. Okay, so this is nothing but the four things which are coming under the category of veracity. Okay, so veracity is nothing but it means that amount of information which is provided is how much it is clear. Okay, अरे ताटे सर, ताटे सर, share my image. Okay, so that is nothing but the veracity. So velocity is there, veracity is there, volume is there, and variety. Variety, it means that whether the data is audio or video. Okay, whether the data is audio or video. Okay, आप जो प्रोसेस कर रहे हो, so that data is audio, video, text है या फिर any other form of information. So that we have seen. So I think this much is sufficient as far as the today's session is concerned. In the next session, we will be more elaborating on 4 V's of big data. That is data exploration.